So, unfortunately, I am falling into a little bit of a creative slump, which is very funny because if you've been listening to the podcast that I've been doing and any of the videos that I've been putting out recently with my art, I felt like I was making a huge leap forward. And I really have been, and it's been really exciting, but I think I got really high and then I've just been starting to dip a little bit. I wanted to take a step back and chat about it a little bit in today's video because I feel like this paint actually a current reflection of kind of where I'm at mentally, and I think that it's just so interesting and wanted to follow up with that in this video. I still have an ongoing list of a lot of things and ideas, and initially when I was working on this I was very excited about it. I envisioned it as like this super fun cute poster to have in a playroom or in a kid's room, a nursery, anything, and I still really love it. I love the concept of it, and this is the first time that I really even went in and tried to do the thumbnails and see what an undercolor wash would look like and just kind of picking out a palette. Usually I kind of do that in the moment, and with this one in particular I just wanted to see how I functioned with being a little bit more planned instead of kind of flying by the seat of my pants. And I think because it didn't go well, I felt a little bit more like an imposter, like less like a professional, less like an artist. And it's really unfortunate that that's the place that I ended up going because I don't actually feel that way. I know that all artists go through slumps. All artists make a lot of art and we don't see most of it, that we only see the things that they like or the things that they know might work well in the world or be liked by others. And so I just think still getting used to creating content, putting things out there, and also feeling that pressure of having to create something that is workable in a video is a little bit hard to balance while also staying in a creative mindset. You just sort of have to let that creativity come out and be here and work with it. So being in a little bit of a funk and then not executing fully the way that I wanted it to be, I think just kind of drew that funk a little bit more out. And I just wanted to share that and talk about it a little bit in this video because I think that it's relevant, it's very honest and raw, and that is another reason why I wanted to document this whole process, is because I think it's just so easy to only see the beautiful things that people produce and what people are proud of and want to share. I don't know how many artists out there are actually putting out the things that they don't like or aren't proud of, or are talking about this aspect of being an artist or even being creative. This doesn't just go with art. I mean, this goes with all things in life. With how this has been going, I kind of thought, well, you know what, maybe I'll just stop. And this is what I usually do. My normal tendency is to just stop completely and work on something else. And I actually have a sketch in my sketchbook that is also from my idea list that I was really excited to work on, and I think it's going to be a super cute illustration. My creativity and like that flow and excitement for a painting is starting to come back. That just kind of got drained out after working on my dinosaur. And so initially I was just like, well, maybe I'll just scratch this video entirely and stop that and start working on the other one, try to get that all recorded and edited in time to then put this out there. But I thought, you know what, that's just kind of putting out false life. That's kind of just not true. Like, that's not what happened. And so in the week that I have been working on this and producing this video and everything, like, this is what I was working on. And because I don't like how it's going, or because I don't think it's in a place that I can be put in a shop or maybe is very shareable, doesn't mean that it's not worthy of being talked through or put into a video. And that's the whole reason I wanted to just actually sit down and talk through this and not just do a voiceover, because I think with something like this, a face-to-face conversation is actually way more valuable than just me saying, yeah, I made this and I didn't like it much, but here it is anyway, because that is kind of the truth. Like, it's not going the way that I had planned, but that's okay. I am accepting that this is not going to be anything that will be a final product. It's not going to be in my shop, but what it will be is a grounds for practicing more. I also had the thought of maybe I should just start over completely, and maybe I could just like re-sketch it out and, you know, just kind of use this specific piece, like what I've actually painted on, as a place to actually practice on it because I had a couple different visions as I started painting. I really loved the watercolor and how the different greens all diffuse into the dinosaur, but then I felt like there wasn't enough detail in there. It's really hard for me to like separate from detail. I just have like a thing about it. I think it's just part of my style, and every time I try to get away from it, I just want to go back to it. So I felt like it was lacking some depth and detail, and I wasn't sure how I wanted to bring that out. So then I started using gouache, and it was going okay, but then I went a little gnarly with the leg and with the head, and I was just like, this isn't going the way that I hoped. It's not what I initially saw. And then what I initially saw just slowly started going away and away. So like I said, usually I would just scratch this and start working on something completely different entirely. I wouldn't even try to like keep working through this. And I think there can be a time and a place for that, but in this situation specifically, just really trying to grow my skills and get out of my comfort zone in art and in life, I'm honestly just trying to sort of catch myself in the patterns that I usually have and do the opposite thing. So because I know I would normally just scratch this entirely and probably open it up like months from now and be like, oh yeah, you were working on this, and then maybe I would do it or try again or sketch over this or something, I'm thinking, well, no. That's not you anymore. You are going to challenge yourself. You're going to work through this until you get something that you are relatively happy with. That doesn't mean that it has to be worthy or good enough to be put in a shop or in my portfolio, but it can be something that when I see, I actually feel happy. I want to be moved by what I create. And I think that is a very encouraging and positive message to share with all creatives, is that it's not about other people. The things that we do or create cannot be constantly about the opinions and feelings of other people. It has to be, at least some of the time, like what moves you. And so I was very excited for this one, especially because my sons are so into dinosaurs, so are my nephews, and we all love books. I mean, I personally love books. I love reading books to my kids, and so I was very amped up about this. And so, yeah, feeling a little bit crushed that it was not going well the first time through. And so I still have the little thumbnails to reference. I have this piece right here that is in the works, and in the works is a good thing. So instead of just scratching it and abandoning this piece because I'm overwhelmed with what direction I was going in, I actually think I'm going to use this to my benefit, and I'm gonna kind of doodle the crap out of this dinosaur is what I'm gonna do. And so I just wanna try on different parts of it, different techniques, different textures. I wanna try and see what some ink looks like, and it's gonna get really sloppy and not look that great. I'm sure it will be a little bit overwhelming, but sometimes I know when you keep overworking, which is usually not recommended in an art piece, but I feel like if you already don't like it, or you know it's too far gone in a direction that you're not trying to go, why not overwork it? Why not just keep using that page until it is something of benefit to you? So that is what I'm going to do, and that is the perspective that I'm trying to have now moving forward in my art practice, is not to just abandon anything. Not any writing, not any art pieces, not any sketches or anything. Like, I can decide when it's done and when it's gone enough, and when I have received that benefit, that is up to me and nobody else. And I hope that for you, you also are able to get in a point, whatever creative practice that you have that autonomy over your creativity and your creative self. So I just really wanted to share that today. I feel like that was really heavy on my heart the last few days that I've sat down and just tried to work on this. It has literally felt like I was staring at a blank page because I didn't know what to do. I felt like I ruined it. There was no fixing it, but then I also had no motivation at all to start over. And I'm sure that that is actually very relatable for a lot of us in a lot of different creative areas. So I just wanted to share that and talk through it, and I hope that it was helpful and encouraging. Now I'm going to get to doodling all over this dinosaur and just relieve that creative pressure off of myself, to just know that this is now just a place for practice, and it doesn't have to be anything perfect or anything real or anything purchasable. It's just for me to get to know what I want this piece to actually look like. So if you'd like, join me for the rest of the video. Thank you so much for joining me and watching this video today. I really appreciate it. And if you connected or if you can relate at all, I would love to know, and drop a comment in the comments below. I do my best to respond to all of them as quickly as I can. I love to get to know the people who are watching my videos and who can relate or have anything to say. And it's also good to remember that anything you leave below, whether it's encouragement or advice, could also extend not just to me, but the other people who are watching and reading the comments. I always check my emails. You can also check out my website where I have my art prints for sale. And I also have blog posts that correlate with all of the podcasts that I put out. So there's a lot going on in this channel that I welcome you to, and I think you would love to be a part of if you want to get in touch with your creative side. So like, subscribe, and don't forget to comment. Thank you so much for being here. I will catch you in the next one.